Welcome back, folks, so let's replay Albion. When last we left off, Reina has finally left our party and chosen to stay with the Jikantos, which is absolutely fine, because for all intents and purposes, Harriet is better than Reina. The only thing that she's worse at, decidedly, is lockpicking, by a whole 5 points. We also talked to everyone in the island of Jikantos, but we haven't done anything with the goddess's flowers yet. We'll be back for them later. What we see in front of us is one of the rare manifestations of a Nim Ebona. If we step into a light, different paths will open up to us. We should go to the Umajo's hotland to find the great metal ship. And indeed, that is where we need to go for the plot. But we don't want to go there just yet, because we have a few things that we need to do. The first thing that we need to do is we need to go and pick up Sira and Melthas, and that is exactly what we're going to do. So we'll go there first, shall we? Let's go. Joe and the companions enter the light. They are filled with a wonderful floating feeling. After falling into a dreamlike state, the companions feel the presence of a consciousness which seems to exist in all places around the planet simultaneously. Different paths lead through the light. And finally, we can go to any location that we've previously been to, as well as Umajo, which we haven't been to, and where we are currently, which is a silly thing to do right now. The game is going to keep telling us to go to Umajo, and we could go to the north of the great land of Mani, but that is a terrible idea, as we don't know where the place that we can enter these caves is in the north area. We do know where it is in the south, though. A trip through a sea of bright lights begins and ends in the same moment. The companions step out of the light and into another cave. I'm speechless. What an experience. Shouldn't we try to reach our metal ship as fast as possible, Tom Driscoll? Then this isn't the correct cave. We must choose the path to the cave of the hot country. We'll go there as soon as possible, Harriet. Have a little patience, please. Unfortunately, that is this part of the game's equivalent of the we must go to the former building. But we have all the time in the world, because we need to go and pick up Sira and Melthas. As you can remember, we found that symbol in the wall before. And those are the areas that open up into the caves. You need to use Harriet's symbol to gain access to them. So we're going to backtrack a bit and go to Jirinaar. Jirinaar is where Sira and Melthas are, and we need to go and pick them back up. To make our party a complete 6 again, and also so that we can most certainly have their magical capabilities back, because they are invaluable. Sira most certainly. Melthas not so much at the moment, but now that we can get access to Nakiradani, that is going to change a little bit, because finally Melthas will be able to do some training. Because the trainer in Nakiradani can actually, in Jirinaar rather, can do some training with Melthas, which is a big improvement. And with Melthas getting some training in close combat, he might actually be a substantial threat, or maybe even long-range combat. Haven't fully decided which one we want to do just yet. Alright, up we go here. And now we're going to go to Jirinaar, and we're going to make sure that we avoid all combats that we possibly can, because we're currently not that prepared to fight any encounters right now. There are only 4 of us, and 4 of us is not so bad, but we most certainly want to have 6, even if 4 means that Harriet will get more experience. Alright, carefully does it now. There are going to be encounters on the way to Jirinaar. There always seems to be. So we're going to be very, very careful. Very careful indeed. I don't know if the fears are going to be by the shrine anymore. I don't think we're allowed back in there, and I'm not going to try and get back into there. But the fears being there might be a good source of experience for the Banish Demon spell. Alright, carefully does it. We need to be very, very careful indeed. Perhaps we get access to that bush there by using the vines that are nearby Kurnos. Maybe, but I don't want to go and find out just yet. Alright, let's go over here and see what we can find. Hello, how are you? Is there an encounter near here? I have no idea how you avoided getting attacked by that Krondir. Maybe you just ran really, really fast. But either way, there are going to be some Warnakes here. No? No Warnakes at all? Not so bad at all. The Warnake there would have been particularly... Ah, there you are, hello. We're going to avoid you. In fact, we're going to avoid pretty much every single encounter that we find, because we are not able to deal with them right now. Goodbye, encounter. We'll deal with you later. And now we are back to Jirinaar, which is a really, really good thing indeed. We're going to go straight over to the tavern, and we're going to go and get Sira and Melthas back. Hello, Melthas, how are you? Melthas looks up when he is addressed. There's nothing to really say here. I think you need to talk to Sira if you want them back. How good to see you again. Melthas and I have had a beautiful time here. Would you like us to join you again, Tom? Yes, indeed. A little excitement will do me and Melthas some good after our rest. Sira and Melthas joined the party. Hello again, how nice to see you. The only thing we need to do is we need to re-equip absolutely everything, which is not the worst thing at all, but there we go. We just need to put everything back in the inventory slots where they need to be, and we'll be good to go. Also, I think, yeah, you have the speed amulet there, didn't you? You'll have that again, and I think you're pretty much ready to go, with one exception. And that exception is that we need to give you back the dagger. The dagger that we had to take off you because it was classed as a plot important item. Alright, we'll just give all these back. We do also need to hand back some rations. Some rations would not go amiss whatsoever. There we go. One there, and one there. Where is that dagger? You're not currently holding onto it. Are you holding onto it? Yes, you are. There we go. You can have that back. There we go. Brilliant. And Melthas, I think, will need all of his items re-equipping. There we go. And there we go. One item at a time, Melthas will become far mightier than he was before. There we go. A few more, and we should be good to go. The only problem is, of course, is that all of the items have been shoved into really awkward places in the inventory. I suppose it was a limitation of how the game was made, that they couldn't have everything in exactly the same location, but that's okay, because we're doing just fine here. We now have a full party again, and as a note, only 2 of the party cannot currently use magic, and that would be Tom and Drer. Which is not so bad, because they are pretty much the ones that would never use magic, because they're warriors. There we go. And we'll pass some rations over to you. And we're pretty much good to go now. We need to just... everyone is getting tired. That's okay, we'll pretty much sort that out. We need to sort out the combat positions again, because they're pretty much all over the place. We want, I think, that there like that there, and that most certainly there like this. There we go, much better. And if you give me one moment, I'll be right back. And we are back. Apologies for the interruption there. Let us move on and leave Jirinaar so we can go to Nakiradani. And that is going to be a bit of a long trip, but it most certainly is going to be worth it. First, we're going to do some resting so that none of the party is tired anymore. And now we are going to obliterate every single encounter that we come across, because every single one of them is that little bit more experience for us to get, so that Harriet can gain more levels. Also, none of these encounters are a problem at all, with the minor exception of that scrin being very, very close to where Harriet is. If there is one person that needs to be killed very quickly, it's the scrin that is threatening Harriet. But fortunately, the scrin attacked Drer instead, which was a really, really terrible idea. And there are only 2 scrin left to threaten us, and this is really a sign of how powerful this party is. And probably the reason why I really was averse to getting rid of Drer, because Drer is just a really, really good member of the team. And there are a few more encounters to face along the way that I'm pretty sure we can obliterate en route to, hello Mr. Warnake, en route to getting to Jirinaar and Nakiradani. Hello, Mr. Warnakes, how are you? You are all going to perish, because we have Frost Avalanche, and that is more than enough to obliterate everything. Alright, you could use some magic here, but most of Harriet's magic is situational, and not very good for offensive capabilities. We could use healing or irritation, but there's no real reason to do either right now, so we're just going to obliterate everything in our path. You could actually do some attacking with ranged weapons. Seems like a good idea. Why not, eh? There we go! This is a really powerful spell now, and I'm really glad I've been using it at this point, because it's quite deadly. And I think everyone else is, yep, pretty much going to start dying horribly. We want to split our attacks here, so you could do, actually, you could do that. That seems like a good idea. So you do that there, you do that, and I think a fireball here would not go amiss. There we go! That was a most certain miss, and another miss, and a fireball should, yep, obliterate that one there. And the enemy are still frozen, which is really, really good. There we go, I think we'll be able to obliterate everything here. Not bad at all. 82 experience there, and we have a few things that we want to eventually sell. There we go. Brilliant. Moving on. Over here, where the Krondir are. And I think this will be one of the last encounters that we face on the way to Jirinaar. Well, not including the fights that we'll face in the continent itself where Jirinaar is, but those fights will be very, very easy indeed. In fact, this fight isn't very hard either. There we go, it's just one solitary Krondir 2 and some not very effective Skrin. The Skrin we can quite easily deal with, so we will quite easily deal with them. There we go. A few fights there, and a few attacks, we won't have any problems whatsoever. The Skrin can't even hurt Sira, but they could do a small amount of damage. Also, those were a lot of attacks that hit there, but they are not still dead. They're in fact very much alive. I was expecting them to be dead there, that's why I said still dead. Some healing wouldn't go amiss though. It is a really powerful spell, however, so we're going to be a little averse to using it. There we go, that's probably a good idea, doing that there, and having Tom deal with that one. There we go. And that enemy is dead, and that enemy is not dead. Well, I think we can quite safely mop up everything that's here, though. There we go. And that should be all of the Skrin pretty much dealt with. We won't need to worry about the Skrin in the first area that we were in at the beginning of the game, because most of them were Skrin 1, also level 22. That is absolutely absurd. There we go. We'll need to backtrack, unfortunately, all the way back to the southern areas. I've no idea where the northern area of the is where you can get access to the transport caves. I know where the southern one is, but the northern one, I have no idea. Can we get this way? We can, in fact, go this way. And I'll need to remember that next time. It's a much faster route. Alright. Over here we go. And up here. I don't think Sira and Melthas talk at any length about the time that they spent together there in Tremalinar, so there's really no point in asking. Also, getting up to that area is always a little bit challenging. And it's a pity that we can't do anything with the torchlight or the light spell to illuminate this area in particular. Alright, down we go, and back to the southern area of Mani, which means that we can then go to Jirinaar, and from there we can then head back to anywhere we want to go, because the area that the thing we used to get to the Jikantos transport caves in the Nakiradani area is actually really, really obvious. Remember, it was by the former building? Dra questioned what they were used for. That is the thing that we're going to be using. Also, there are no enemies here to worry about whatsoever. There are enemies, however, if we were to travel east onto the other part of the map that we most certainly don't want to do right now. We want to stay away from there. We really have no reason to head in that direction, and it's a good source of experience later. We will probably be heading over there. We were very briefly over there when we left the treasure cave, and there's no real reason to be there right now. Alright, on we go through the night. and instant transportation is so much better than anything else that we could possibly be doing. We will have to rest, of course, because we're not going to be able to go and see the weapons trainer in the dead of night, and it will be the dead of night by the time we go there. Alright, we're nearly there. In fact, I think it's over here. There we go. If we have Harriet as the leader here, and we use the amulet here, Harriet places the amulet with the symbol of the goddess on the rock. A door creaks open, rather. A door creaks open, and the companions enter the cave. Apologies for the sudden interruption there. And we move in. It's pretty much like the places we were in before, and we're just going to move in and head over to a place we haven't been to in a long time. We'll go to Nikiradani. And here we are. And once again, we are told that we are not in the right place, but we will go to the correct place at some point. And here we're going to face some very, very easy encounters. There's probably going to be a Crondeer here. Just one solitary Crondeer. Hello, Mr. Crondeer, how are you? You are about to absolutely be obliterated. We do not need to worry about the Crondeer here whatsoever. You know what we do need to worry about, though? This bridge. Remember this bridge? Fortunately, the bridge did not break, which is really, really good. Alright, what we want to do is we want to head back to Nikiradani. Rest before we go in, I think, is probably a good idea. And go and see the trainer, because the trainer most certainly is very, very useful. Not only does this trainer have access to the long and close range combat, this trainer can also train Melthas, which is very, very important. Very important. And Melthas has a not too bad selection of combat abilities if you can get access to training. Alright, here we are. Way back in the Nikiradani. Way back in the first place we were in the game. We'll rest until dawn, and then we'll just head over here. There is one more thing we can do while we're here, and we'll be doing that as well. It's nice to be back here, though. We need to wait, I think, a little while longer to do some training. Let's have a look. Yep, 8 AM, so let's wait for 1 hour. And we'll have Melthas be in the lead of the party here, because we most certainly want to get a lot of training here. There we go. I think everything that would improve his combat capabilities has been removed, and I think now if we go, Melthas signals that he is interested in training. There we go. And that is how Melthas can get some training. Close range training, please. A lot of it. And this is an excellent time to get a lot of points. 25 points. Yes, it is 62.5 gold, but that is most certainly worth it, because now Melthas is actually a really, really good close combat trained person. There we go. Now he has 70 out of 70, which is really, really good. We'll actually equip this again, and now he has 82 out of 70 skill, and we're going to, we could save some skill points. There's really not much need to. We could actually just have him train in long range as well. We only need to save 5 skill points, which is not so bad. There we go. We'll, oh, nothing nothing that he can teach us, because accidentally I selected close range rather than long range. There we go, we want long-range combat. There we go. We also want to train Harriet as well, in as much long-range training as she can take. I think 30 points is good here. 90 gold. It's most certainly worth it, because now Melthas can do either of them. There we go, let's have a look. Yep, 47 is not a bad number at all. And we'll pass over the spare crystal throwing axe. Where is that spare crystal throwing axe? It's somewhere around here. Somebody has it. There we are. You can have that, because we want Harriet now to train in long-range combat. There we go, as much as she can train, which is actually quite a lot if memory serves. There we go. 8 points. It's not a lot, actually. Maybe we need to remove the bolt thrower. That might be what we need to do. Let's have a look, shall we? There we go. Or maybe not, because she is indeed now at maximum. And she has more than enough training points to gain a lot of experience in close combat training too. Which is not a bad thing to do at all, so we'll do that as well. Getting all this training done is very, very important. Alright, there we go. 20 points. 50 gold. Absolutely nothing. That is nothing at all. Excellent. And I think now, yep, that's pretty good. You really don't need much training, but you can only get 8 points of critical, so learning 19 points of ranged combat, Tom, might actually be a really good idea. 9 points of ranged combat. Alright, we'll learn 9. There we are. 9 points. 27 gold, absolutely nothing to worry about. There is a good reason why we're going to remain here even after we've done a lot of training. Actually, you still have 18 training points left. Why did I say only that? Why don't I have you do another 10 points of long-range training? Training is just really good, and once we've got most of it out the way, you'll note I'm leaving a lot of skill points lying around. That's because we can eventually get some critical hit training, and it's very important that we do at a certain point. Also, I really don't think there's really anything else for you to train. We could have you training close range. Actually, no. We'll have you train in some close range combat. There's really not much reason to train in anything else. I think you're pretty much at maximum. I think 10 points is good, or 20 points apparently. You can train 20 points of close range. Not bad. Ah yes, because the dagger gives you a bonus, doesn't it? Now you have 60 out of 50, which isn't bad. You still have a lot. We could have you train as well in everything but 3 points of long range, but there's really not much point. There's really not much point in training you in long range either, because you're probably never going to use it. Alright. Now that's been done, there's one more thing we need to do while we're here. Remember the Jikas and the fact that we could learn any magic that we liked for absolutely free? It's a good idea to do so. And while we're here, Sira has a spell that we most certainly can get her to learn. And why not? After all, it's free, it saves us about 150 gold, so it's worth doing. And this bit of backtracking is most certainly worth our time. Also, as usual, I try to enter into the wrong door to get into the Jikas building. And while we're here, why don't we pop in and say hello, for old time's sake. Hello, how are you? We are indeed just wanting to look around, and we'll have a conversation. Don't mention the Jikantos. But it's okay, we got 1 healing potion. Haha, we're definitely not coming back here to get lots and lots and lots of money for the purposes of learning some critical hit. Most certainly not. We're probably going to do that at some point. Alright, in here should be, where are you? There you are, hello. How are you? We would like to increase Sira's knowledge, and by that, learn 1 spell. There we are, excellent. And there is one more person we could go and talk to before we leave. There's no particular reason to do so, but I am curious as to if there is a reason to do so. Let's find out, shall we? Over here we go. Out of here, and we are going to go over to the main building. We're going to talk to the leader of Jirinaar, just to say hi and see how she is. Here we go. She'll be a little surprised to see everyone. And I mean everyone. There are a lot of people now. A lot of people indeed. Hello, how are you? Is the door shut? It always is. Hello. How have things been? Jirinaar, Tom. How good to see you again. Tell me, how'd it go with you? Tom briefly summarises what he and his companions have experienced. Janice is fascinated. And that's pretty much it. Your question astounds me. Don't you know that I'm the Sebanar of Nakiradani, president of the council? Yeah, it does astound me a little too that we have the option of asking that, but there we go. We've pretty much done everything that we need to here. There's really not much more we can do, so we're going to leave. we're going to leave and we're going to head back to Jikantos, because we need to go and look at those flowers before we head to Umajo. And it's not going to be too hard to get back to where we need to go. And now everyone is really, really proficient in combat. I mean, Melthas now. Sure, he doesn't attack very hard, but that 82 out of 70 combat and the 43 protection stat, you know what? It might actually be worth putting Melthas near the front. Because Melthas is most certainly built for combat now. Most certainly. Alright, back over to Jikantos we go. Because there's one more thing that we need to do before we head to Umajo, and that is that we need to go and check out those goddess flowers and gain some stat increases. The reason why I decided to go and get Sira and Melthas first, because why not? It's a good idea to do so. Alright, here we go, and no combats here are going to be any problem whatsoever. I mean, they're just going to be like Scrin 1 and the occasional Scrin 2, 1-8-1s and the occasional 1-8-2. There is an encounter here somewhere. Where is it? Over there, maybe? I have no idea. But either way, we're going to head over to where we've previously been. Up here. Please don't break, bridge. And the bridge did not break. And that is brilliant. Over here we go, and one use of the goddess amulet, and we'll get back to where we've previously been. There we go. Use item, goddess amulet, and in we go into the small cave. Brilliant. And navigating through here, always a little bit tricky to some degree. And we'll head back to Jikantos. I wonder if she complains if we go there. And the answer is, yes, she does. But that's okay, because we're going to head down here, and when we come back, folks, we're going to go and look for those goddess flowers, because it's a really good idea to do so when you have a full party. Those stat increases are very, very impressive. Hello, Nemos, we're just passing through, don't mind us, we're completely procrastinating with that really important task you gave us, but that's alright, I'm sure we'll get round to it at some point. Maybe. Possibly. Maybe not. And I'll catch you next time, folks. And I'll see you then. Later.